Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 20 of Matt and John Make a Podcast. Before we begin today's podcast, I would like to thank everyone who stayed on and watched our live stream of both Dynamite and NXT last night.
Wednesday night.
Or
it's Saturday.
Yeah,
because we're recording Thursday.
So. Yeah, that's right. As we have said before, we're going to be continuing doing this every single Wednesday night. So make sure that you guys stay tuned for that. But on today's show, we have some politics to talk about. The House has voted to impeach President Donald Trump. Matt's going to be talking a little bit about that, and I'll just be reacting to that. We had a big UFC pay-per-view this past weekend with Kamaru Usman beating Colby Covington. We'll talk about that, and also as of when we are recording this podcast, we are going to be seeing Star Wars tomorrow night, which is on Friday. So we're going to be talking a little bit about the critics or the early reviews with that. Also with the Mandalorian, they are now going into their season finale next week, and we're going to be just giving you our thoughts on the show so far. And also we're going to be talking about NFL, some baseball off-season stuff, and some things with wrestling too. But first, as I mentioned, Matt, we had a big happening last night. It was made official by the House that the House of Representatives that they have voted to impeach Donald Trump. Now, my initial hearing about this, and just based off of the smallest research that I've done, this shouldn't come as a huge surprise. No. Just based on how much that the Democrats occupy with the House. It's obviously going to be a challenge to get this thing through with the Senate, just because of how many Republicans occupy there. So Matt, just what were your initial thoughts, feelings as this was made official? And I believe that this is the third time that this has happened.
This was the third time. We had Andrew Jackson way back in the day, Bill Clinton in the 90s, and it could have been a fourth, but Richard Nixon resigned before anything can happen. And now, present day, we have President Trump impeach on 2 articles. I believe obstruction of justice and I'm drawing a blank. My phone is not helping me right now, but regardless, abuse of power. There you go. That the Democrats pass, like John said, that's no surprise. But it will be way harder to do anything in the Senate because of the makeup of the Senate. It is now the 116th Congress, made up of 53 Republicans, 45 Democrats, and 2 independents, while both of those independents caucus with the Democrats. So that you need 2/3 majority to pass a impeachment in the Senate. So let's say the two independents vote with the Democrats vote for impeachment. Actually vote. So that's 47. You need, I believe, 67. Yeah, 100. You need 67 votes. So you would need 20 Republicans to flip.
Yeah, I just can't see that
That
happening.
would not happen.
I will be utterly stunned if that were to happen. If there was more occupancy with the Democrats, I could realistically see that being a possibility. But just based off of that, I think Trump will be safe. Although, just with the public and just with the perception of this and everything, it's obviously isn't going to be helping his approval rating or anything. But you can't really you can't really control that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
The big thing that's happening now is that the House needs to give the articles, give the vote, give everything to the Senate. But like we said, the Senate is controlled by the Republicans, and the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, is withholding the articles of impeachment to the Senate because she's worried that the Senate's not going to have a fair trial and set up the trial in a way that will help get Trump indicted. No, that's not the right word, right? Indicted.
I don't know.
I felt stupid, but not for him not to be acquitted. That's it, acquitted. I think that is the right. Anywho, but regardless of what happens, I don't think he's getting kicked out of office. Sorry to say for anybody out there. It's just the makeup of Congress is not conducive for this to happen. No way.
I feel like he would have to do something just so terrible and just egregious within the next week or so to sway a few votes. But as long as he's
20
exactly, it's really unrealistic, and for someone who doesn't really dabble in politics at all, even for someone like me, can really just say, this just doesn't seem really feasible or even a possibility to happen. Regardless of what your political views are, just from a numbers standpoint, it just doesn't seem like that's going to happen.
If the Democrats controlled both chambers of Congress, this is a slam dunk.
Yeah, then if I were Trump, I would be concerned. But now,
but you need to get 2/3. They would really need the control. They would have to have for a slam dunk 67 members of the Senate.
They would need a quarter of the freaking Republicans to
pretty much
flip. Good luck with that.
In politics, party matters above all.
Yep.
Unfortunately, so this would have been the same thing if the roles would have been reversed.
Right.
The opposite parties would be condemning the other party for blah 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 blah. Mm-hmm. So it'll be really hilarious. So he's impeached. If somehow he wins again, holy crap! Watch the Twitter. Watch everybody just lose their minds. It'd be hilarious. It was hilarious the first time. Yeah. The outrage.
I know.
On Twitter.com.
It's a freaking show right now.
there's a lot of people that believe that just they're doing this now not because of he did something wrong, which maybe he did.
Well,
because it's an election year,
and there's a lot of people who believe that there isn't a current candidate who can beat Trump right now. Like that's the conspiracy theory going on, which honestly I can't really blame those people just based off of some of the candidates that have been shown and from everything that I've just been researching, just not like Matt, you pay attention to this more. Is there a single candidate who's really has stood out in a positive way to really challenge like anytime that I see like Joe Biden on the Twitter, it's like it's them parodying him of like talking and like touching people. I'm like
and going up to somebody and whispering right in their ear. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's okay. You can't see this, but I'm caressing and petting the mic.
Or
like Joe Biden.
It's that or the stuff going on with his son too. That
yes.
So I mean, it's just I mean, if I'm the Democratic Party, probably not feeling really confident going up against Trump, especially with the support that he currently has right now.
Yeah. The other funny thing, one of the Democratic candidates from Hawaii, Tulsi Gabbard, she's a veteran. Mm-hmm. Blah blah blah. I've listened to her on Joe Rogan's podcast, and I'm on the other side of the aisle from her, but she is a very she doesn't come across like you hear other candidates on whatever side are like crazy. What I get from her is like she's like a reasonable person, and okay, maybe you don't disagree. I mean, you don't agree with everything she says, but like she does it in a respectable way. But anywho,
you know what? So someone else who comes off like that to me too, is like Andrew Yang. I'm not sure. I don't know too much about him, but just based off some of the clips and mainly on like a Joe Rogan's podcast, like he seems very very true, very genuine.
That's true. The debate there is whether what he's saying is feasible with giving everybody, but that's a topic for a different day.
Yeah.
But she voted. You can vote on these issues. You can vote yay, nay, present, or no vote. She voted present, just saying she was there. And I mean, if I can quickly pull up, she said basically that apparently she read. Oh, there she is, right there on the Twitter. Is that she did not? Here it is. She goes, I could not in good conscience vote either yes or no. I am standing in the center. And I think she said that. Here we go. Here's the full statement, the quick statement here. Just scroll down. I'm standing in the center and have decided to vote present. I could not in good conscience vote against impeachment wait. That made no sense. I could not in good conscience vote against impeachment because I believe President Trump is guilty of wrongdoing. I could also not in good conscience vote for impeachment because removing of a sitting president must not be the culmination of a partisan process fueled by tribal animosities that have so greatly divided our country. And the left is losing their minds. They're like shunning her. I
can't even imagine right now.
Like, she was trending. It was number 5 on Twitter. It was Tulsi Coward. Mm-hmm. And now there's Stand with Tulsi. That's trending. Yeah. So people are not liking her so much on the left. And she was already like shunned when I think it was Hillary Clinton said she was like a Russian agent for Russia. Like the left is just like shun a non-believer. I'm just like, oh, makes me like her even more. Wow. Tulsi. It'd be funny. She said she doesn't want to run as an independent, but
I mean, like,
holy, would that be hilarious?
Based on everything that's happened, I mean, like, could you
I
blame her?
Since I'm in the public school, work in a high school, I eat lunch with a couple history teachers, and one said if it fails, they can still technically vote on him not getting into another running for office again. So I think that you can bring that up, saying, okay, we're not going to remove you from office, but you can't run again. But the issue there, I believe, is the timing of the primaries and elections. Because let's say, to use the example my colleague used, let's say it's in March or whatever. I think Iowa primaries, I think maybe a couple primaries go before that, depending on the timing. So he's already on the ballot, and then if you remove him, there's no official Republican candidate already since it started. So, like, the Democrats can just walk right into the and that needs passed, and that's not going to happen. And all of this is going to be sound like just random noise. It's going to be all this thing, and then nothing's going to happen from it. People are going to be mad in it that it failed, and two things are going to happen. I see happening in the election is that everybody's going to blame the Republicans, mostly the Democrats, and it's just going to be an upswell of votes, blah, 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 blah. Okay, maybe a Democrat wins. Or it makes the Republican base more upset because this thing's happening. And like what happened in 2016 with everything, it's going to bring them out in full force, and maybe Trump gets re-election. Now, what he did, did he alienate some of the voters? Then maybe the fringe voters from 2016 to now, do they stay? Did the same states that he flipped or he got, like Pennsylvania, voted for him, the Great Lakes states and all the Florida, I think Ohio, if those change to blue, regardless, then I don't see he can win. But if he gets the majority of what he got in 2016 somehow,
right,
it's going to be another 4 years, and it's going to be hilarious. So this impeachment process, because it's not going to pass, there's no way.
No.
If it could either work to the Democrats' advantage or blow up terribly and hysterically in their face and do the reverse. So it's going to be interesting to see. I have not watched any of the hearings before, but I've been sticking out of politics for like the last 3 years. But I might watch because it might be interesting if he gets put on trial, and all that. I get to watch because that's going to be just TV theater at its best. So yeah. Anyways,
but yeah. So that
was a good 20 minutes of that.
Yep. So that should all be very interesting. But now we got some Star Wars talk here. Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is now here.
Yeah, journey nears its end. That's a terrible impression.
Yep. So like we got that, and we also had episode 7 of The Mandalorian dropped on Wednesday. And the season finale for that is dropping next Friday.
I can't wait.
Yeah. So thoughts on The Mandalorian. This series has been nothing short of excellent. I mean, it's been a huge hit. Like Baby Yoda is like the most over thing.
He's the cutest thing.
It's the most cutest thing. Is the most over thing. And in pop culture right now, like, can't tell you how many memes and just interactions that you see that is like involving this character. Like if you are the creators at like Disney, like how like happy must you be right now? Because just from a subscriber standpoint, just from a content and talking standpoint, like this has been just a huge success, and for how much money that they spend on each episode, like you gotta feel like that they're getting every they're getting everything that they paid for, and I'm fully expecting for season 2 to be really interesting. But just for season 1, man, like Gina Carano, I mean, like, first of all, this woman is one of the original is one of the original pioneers of women's MMA. She has, and now she is like just killing it, especially in this episode. Like, she kicked a lot of ass this week. So I mean, Matt, when you saw her beat up that one dude in the freaking pit there, what was your
I'm trying to remember that pit thing.
Yeah, like or
because I dazed
at the like mini bar there, where she's trying to like earn some money for
oh yeah,
herself.
the fight. Yeah. Okay, I drew.
What'd you think? What'd you think?
Don't
I
mess
was talking
with her.
about they were having a freaking tea party or something there. I mean,
no, I forgot.
Work with me, pal.
I can't work with you.
God damn it. That's your penance. But
my edit penance.
But Gina has been phenomenal. The freaking the Mandalorian character is just such. It's very interesting just seeing the whole dynamic with him and Baby Yoda, and especially in this episode, you really see how attached that baby Yoda is to the Mandalorian,
and vice versa.
And like vice versa, because Matt, I'm not sure if you saw, but like when he was arm wrestling Gina's character, like he was on force
force choker.
He was force choking her. That, I mean, like he still does know, like who is like friend or like a foe. So like
he's trying to help and with or he thought she was hurting him, or he was, if he was thinking that she was hurting him. I thought I messed up the pronouns, pal.
Damn it.
I wanted to say appreciation to Jon Favreau for writing. He's pretty much writing most of, if not all of this.
Has been spectacular.
And the directing is good. Just I think we said this earlier talking about this. Is that easy for me to say. Just the look and feel of this show is just great. I wish like more
the writing, it just how everything has just progressed is just
it's good as episodic television.
yeah.
With just the look and just like everything technically, I wish more Star Wars movies maybe going on in the future. It has more of that, it has a Rogue One type of look and feel to me.
Right.
Just in terms of just overall design and stuff.
Yeah,
it looks more real. It looks more realistic compared to what you saw in the prequels with the CGI, like that new technology, especially Episode 1.
Yeah.
It looked like Episode 1. It just looked obviously computerized, which at the time, was probably a big leap, but like now, like the ships that are flying and everything, it looks like those are real. Like it blends almost seamlessly into the real aspect in real life. So that is good. But the writing, everything is good in this. And those bastards, they took Baby Yoda.
Yeah, they took Baby Yoda, and also, do you think that dude's dead? Do you think he's dead?
I have a wild theory, is that he never said "I have spoken," that it's not really him. But I know that's not true.
Yeah.
He never said "I have spoken" once. That disappointed me.
Yeah. No. He said it one time.
Did he?
Yep. He said it one time. And
I don't remember.
Yeah. It's when he was like feeding his what does he call them?
I forget the name.
But yeah. Like,
really?
Yeah.
I missed that.
Yeah.
Damn.
When he was talking with Mando and Mando was trying to convince him to help and protect the kid as he calls him.
Then my theory that was not serious and not real is broken.
Yeah, so I'm very interested to see how this is all going to end, because too when that freaking army showed up and freaking Cara Dune, who is the character that Gina Carano is playing, she's like, what did I get myself into here?
Yep.
And like her and like Mando are just completely pinned down there. So I'm very interested to see how this is all going to end. Like I mean, like
it's gonna end on is like this
just crazy
cliffhanger that you gotta have to wait like a year, and it's gonna be like, oh no.
Predictions. Do you think that like Mando survives? Does
Mando?
he? Yeah.
Yes.
Does he survive? Yeah.
Yes.
I think so too.
Well, I don't know to say why the Mandalorian would die in the first season.
Well,
I think he survives. Yes.
Yeah.
But
I would hope so.
But I believe I'm gonna say Baby Yoda is still in going into season 2.
Yeah, I would agree with that because too, like they're like really hinting at clones and stuff, and like because I believe that their whole end game was to try and clone baby Yoda into like creating like soldiers of like people with the force that the Empire could control and just like manipulate to their will. So yeah, very
and it's going to be interesting eventually how that happens, that it doesn't succeed.
Yep.
Because obviously watching episode 7 and 8, there's no clones of Yodas and people flying
not
around.
yet anyway.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So it's a great like everybody's talking about it. The memes are hilarious, the Baby Yoda memes. Like it's like the cultural phenomena, which I don't know if they're gonna just keep on every season just doing like 8, but I feel like they're gonna order more.
I think that they'll probably order more just based off of
because I think this was just a safe play. If
this was, I feel like, more of
a test
of a test of a feeling out process. But like, I mean, clearly this has been very successful.
People who I didn't think were watching it were like, "You're watching The Mandalorian," and I'm just like,
everyone at my work talks about it. Like, it just everyone is into it, and speaking of things being a hot topic, this movie, man, like it's a very polarizing thing right now. Like, you're seeing
like anything with Star Wars.
Like, Star Wars fans they remind me of professional wrestling fans to a freaking T, man.
Yes.
Just like they they want things to be a certain way, and if they feel like that it's not done a certain way, like, they will say that it's shit and that it's not going to be any good, blah blah blah. Like, I mean, like, I can't tell you how many negative tweets, negative reviews that I've seen in the past 3 days have just been ridiculous, without even seeing the film. And a friend of mine brought up a pretty good point. He's like, I think that a lot of people were so mad at how the last film was that, like, everyone is just trying to gang up on this and just immediately just discredit this because they were so mad from that second film.
When it comes to this franchise, I like to go in with an open mind, almost with any movie, but this series in particular, I love the articles that I have read, opinion pieces that are like, well, this trilogy is worse than the prequel trilogy, and that is the trigger right there, because everybody just condemns those prequel trilogies. With the writing and fair points. I mean, Phantom Menace probably is the worst out of all of them.
Yes.
But Episode 3 was the best. It got progressively better. Mm-hmm. 2, at least to me, 2 was more enjoyable. I watched it recently. Compared, I still the Anakin lovey-dovey stuff.
Don't even get me started with.
It was torture.
And Episode 1 too. Just that character who played Anakin. Just like, oh god, was he irritating?
Me personally, I have no problem with him because he's a kid.
Yeah, like as a kid when I saw this, I didn't really think all too much of it, but like when I got older, I was like, oh my god, this kid is annoying as hell.
I didn't.
But
I didn't
like that whole romance was
the way it just wrote
yeah
and written English it was just like more overdone. Mm-hmm. But this trilogy, which is for now the last trilogy, I think they said they're gonna try to step away down the road from trilogies, which I think
is a good idea,
because I think you don't have to worry about writing and having to plan down like a long-term plan, like out the gate. Like, I feel like Rogue One was a perfect, like, separate movie. It told a story. It told a section of a story that needed to fill the gap. Mm-hmm. And I think it did it, I don't want to say perfectly, but it's, because I'll say perfectly just for sake of conversation. I think that was good to fill in those gaps. Mm-hmm. Solo, even though I know people crap on Solo, but it filled in.
That wasn't terrible, though. Like,
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I really liked that.
That's another controversy. But okay, it filled in that gap, those backstories, mm-hmm. that lore, if you will. Yeah. This Obi-Wan Kenobi one that's, I think, still coming up on Disney Plus.
That is what I'm really looking forward to.
That's what it fills in these gaps, fill in the gaps, like when the animated Clone Wars, which I'm watching for the first time, because I'm trying to watch from the beginning to the end.
Yep, same here.
From episode 1 to now, I may need to watch. I want to kind of watch The Last Jedi to fill in the gap from so I have my memory, so that might put it out of whack. But anyways, and that's a good series. That's filling in the gaps between episode 2, episode 3, because it's like, okay, we'll go in the war. You come in episode 3, there's war and stuff is happening. So I think that's the best way to go, and hopefully, like with these episodes in the movie theaters, they just take off and sell out. Yeah. But this one is close to selling out. Theaters are getting packed. Yeah. Looking on tickets. Just going over the early reviews. Rotten Tomatoes first. There's no audience score, but the tomato meter is 57% from the critics, and that is out of, there's a good chunk, 271. Let's just say, let's go on the two ends of the spectrum here. Let's say I write a bad one. Ty Burr by the Boston Globe. In terms of pure narrative, it's satisfying. What it very rarely is inspired. Katie Wash, Tribune News Service, gave it a 2 out of 4. Ty Burr, 2 out of 4. A harried and hectic affair. Somebody says, it's too bad that the Star Wars saga has saved the worst for last. On the other end, we have Calvin Wilson from the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. The storytelling is solid, and at a time when the CGI in some film is downright embarrassing, the special effects are superb. 3.5 out of 4. Here is Jim Judy from Screen It. I have these places I never heard of. Die Hard fans might be happy, but I found Rise of Skywalker just okay, and clearly the lesser of the most recent Star Wars films. Well, that was a tomato, but that seemed like it was a negative thing. And one more, just try to get a well-rounded thing here. Steve Crum from VideoReviewMaster.com. Lacks the outright fun and originality of the previous episodes, but it achieves its goal of providing big-scale closure. So it's almost split, coming 50-50. Like, storytelling's bad, blah, blah, bad, or storytelling's good, makes a good conclusion. So it is split down the middle. So that's Rotten Tomatoes. If you go to IMDb, user score, this is out of 25,060, and it probably will be more this time when you're listening to this, when it comes out. Well, it comes out today, Thursday. There's some early screenings, and then on Friday, that's the majority. It really opens up.
Us.
Yep, us. 6.8 out of 10, with a Metacritic score of 53 of average, based on 53 reviews. Well, we always say about the critics, we never really go by.
F them.
Here's the range. The highest is 75 by the New York Post. Johnny Erlenzitsky. Although director J.J. Abrams tries his darnest to finish the job, conjuring up nostalgia like a TV medium rise of Skywalker, doesn't feel like the last chapter of the biggest American movie franchise. It's just another well-made Star Wars flick. And to the bottom, 38. At least that's what that's shown here on the app. Slant Magazine. The film, hyper aware of the shadow cast by the franchise's history, struggles to both honor and redeem the past before everything comes to a close. So you're either on one side of the fence or you're not on the other. It's somebody gives it 100 by the Guardian. And what's the lowest? Another 30 by Vox. So the breakdown, there's 17 positive ratings. That's 30% of the votes. 36 mixed ratings. That's 65, and 2 negatives. So again, down the middle. It's freaking split.
So basically, everyone is overreacting.
I don't know. So it's going to be, and when me and you and our friend Phil go, I'm very interested to see what the reaction of maybe the people around us and us in general. Because I don't want to come out there, and I don't want us. I try to stay positive, so you guys come out and be like, well, that sucked. It's going to be compared to the last one.
Mm-hmm. As it normally is.
Right. And I don't want it to be, I don't come out and think, oh, it's going to look like it's trying to fix the last one. Because J.J. Abrams has said some stuff that, like, the two directors are, like, feuding words here. And I'm just like, ugh. Yeah. I just want a good conclusion. If there's good action and good fights, just in a good overall conclusion.
We just need closure with this whole thing.
If you have good closure, and again, you can debate if stuff makes sense. I read something that Palpatine, how he survived didn't make sense, but it's Star Wars, so what does make sense?
Exactly. Yep. So we will.
At least it's not cats. 19%.
Yeah, so we'll be sure to give you guys our thoughts on that on the next podcast next week. But as I mentioned at the start of the podcast, there was a big UFC pay-per-view last weekend. A very long show. Like,
yes.
I didn't get home till almost 3 a.m. that night. Needless to say, I was freaking tired. But the big thing coming out of this show, Matt, and the one thing I learned being at the casino was a lot of people really hate Colby Covington. Like, Matt, do you recall there when like where the two guys were like they kept on saying beat his ass, like
yes.
just the hatred, the freaking heat that Colby Covington just like generates out of people is just, it's something to really behold. And like you just hear it in like and just with the fight in general, like that was a war. Like very high level MMA was happening in that fight. And to be perfectly honest, up until Usman finished him in the 5th round, I didn't really know who was winning that fight, because I believe on one scorecard I believe it was 3-1 Usman. I think another scorecard had it 3-1 Colby, and I believe that the other scorecard was tied at 2-2. So really, that could have ended up in a draw, actually, which honestly I don't think that a lot of people would have been terribly angry at. But yeah, like that was just an amazing fact, Matt. Being the casual viewer that you are,
yep.
Just like watching Colby and just seeing the end, just seeing the reaction that he generates every time that he comes out. What's your thoughts on all of that?
He likes the limelight, and it's entertaining.
Yep.
It's entertaining, whether you, at least to me, it's fun.
He comes out to freaking Kurt Angle's theme song.
Loved it. I kind of like him. Not gonna lie, it's grown on me because it's just, I like the theatrics.
Mm-hmm.
It's entertaining. Yeah, he didn't win, but
no. Well, and also he broke his jaw. I believe it was in it was in round 3 or 4, and like Usman gave him a like left hand in like you
slow motion
in slow motion. You saw his jaw go in a complete other direction. I was like, ooh, but yeah, Usman, as I said, he finishes Colby in round 5. Of course, Colby believes that the fight stopped prematurely, but I felt like that was a pretty good stoppage by referee Mark Goddard. So really no issue with that. So now this sets up a possible title fight between Usman versus Jorge Masvidal, who just a month ago finished Nate Diaz via doctor stoppage, of course. But that's a possibility. But now with the Conor fight happening, I believe in 3 weeks or so. So like we'll probably get some more clarification, like, because if Conor wins, I could definitely see them doing Conor versus George. So that's a possibility. But for Colby, I could see him doing possibly him versus Woodley. That would make sense. So the welterweight is a pretty interesting division, to say the least. And in the co-main event, we had Alexander Volkanovski. He defeated Max Holloway to win the 145 featherweight title. This was a pretty convincing win for Volkanovski. It really wasn't all that competitive, I felt, until like the fourth and fifth rounds. Like with Alexander, he was just beating up Max's front leg like really badly. He just kept on kicking it, and like you could just tell it was really hurting Max so much that for a good portion of the fight he had to fight him southpaw. So yeah, a very convincing win. This sets up a possible rematch, which supposedly Dana is completely in favor of. There was talking about that fight possibly being in Australia. So I wouldn't be mad against that. And then we had Amanda Nunes have a very dominant win over Jermaine Duranamy. This was really not even competitive. Like Duranamy had a few spots like with that up kick that she had that kind of stunned Nunes, but basically Duranamy, she was a turtle. We laughed between myself, Matt, and my friend Phil. It was like, she's like waddling. She's just trying to survive. And we kept on saying turtle shell, because like basically Amanda was on top essentially for most of the fight. Just like she could not stop Amanda's takedowns. Like she was just taking her down at will. I mean, like there was a lot of people, especially at the casino, who were pretty annoyed and irritated with her constantly taking her down. But like it's a smart thing to do. Like you're not if someone cannot grapple or stop the freaking takedowns, you'd be stupid not to continue going after that. So Amanda, she wins. I have no idea where they go with her. Now she has beaten everybody, and there was only one other clear fight that people really wanted to see, was to see her versus Cyborg. But obviously, since now with Cyborg, she is now signed with Bellator, and by the way, she is fighting, I believe, in a month or so. So it's just like, I mean, at one point, are you with Amanda? Do you just consider retirement? Like there's really no challengers for her whatsoever. She has cleaned out 135 completely. And the women's 145 is just completely is just non-existent. they don't really have a division there, and until they are actually serious about actually building one, like it's going to be a complete nothing division there. Other fights we saw, Uriah Faber got beat up badly against Peter Yan. I could see Peter Yan getting a title shot soon, although he wants to fight Henry Cejudo for the 135 title. I personally feel that he should fight Aljamain Sterling, and the winner of that faces Henry Cejudo, and then Henry Cejudo should defend his men's flyweight title against Joseph Benavidez. So that would kind of settle things out there at 125 and at 135 pounds, and also Marlon Moraes won a very controversial decision over Jose Aldo. I personally felt that with Aldo that he won that fight, but it was a very close fight. So I wasn't terribly angry about the decision, but I do see why people were upset, because it did feel like that he did win that fight. So yeah, that was a very good and I said a very long UFC card. But now the next big card, Matt, is the return of the King. Conor McGregor makes his return on January 18th, and he will fight Cowboy Cerrone. And supposedly they are increasing on pay-per-view. They're increasing the pay-per-view price for that. Not exactly surprising, but I'm expecting that to do some big numbers, despite Conor's off the field things that are going on. Like, he still is the biggest draw in combat sports. So we got that to look forward to. Mm-hmm. And now, Matt, it's time to talk about some NFL, and it's time to return a very popular segment on the podcast. We haven't had to talk about this for a while,
no.
But our good buddy Antonio Brown, he going crazy. He going crazy. So if you guys haven't been paying attention,
I stopped paying attention.
Here, I'll fill you in on something.
Thank you.
On some things.
Thank you.
So this was on Saturday. So Antonio Brown is Instagram living the cops showing up on his front lawn with him giving his children's clothes and belongings, because he would not let his baby mama come to his house to take them. So basically, he's just gone completely off the rails. He's like talked about how wrong that like she's done to her, and like how like she was like nothing without him, and like he just keeps on just airing out his dirty laundry. And I'm like, dude, does he not understand by having this this volatile personality of his is not doing himself any favors in even getting close to getting back into football? And supposedly there was a report that came out this week that there's some expectations that Antonio Brown could possibly be suspended for an entire season next year, or that is the feeling that some have around the league. Which, even if that were to happen, I just don't see any team anytime soon that's going to even willing to take a chance on him. Like, he's just like he's having rants every single day. Like the other day, he was talking about about his dad beating him with a belt, and that if he were to beat one of his kids, he would use a like flashy belt, a nice looking belt. Like it just and like you were just hearing him talk, he just looks belligerent. He just like you could just tell that his inner circle, Matt, is just they rarely aren't being honest with him. They're being complete yes men around him. It's like one of the most tragic NFL stories that I have probably have ever seen. How a guy who was the best wide receiver in football and is out of like football with like not even 6 or 8 months. It's tragic. It's and like honestly, I don't really feel sorry for him. He just gives the public and his critics more and more ammo why they feel about him the way that they do. Matt, do you have anything more to add?
He's tweeting himself out of a job here.
Mm-hmm.
It's more real life drama. Like if I'm a GM of a team, do I really want all that the news of him, everything associated with him,
and too, like,
on my team? Because that's all anybody's going to talk about.
Well, and too, like what makes you think as a coach, as a GM, as an owner, that by bringing him in, that anything is going to be any different? He could not work out in either Pittsburgh or with the Patriots, two of the most storied franchises in football. Like the fact that freaking Bill Belichick did not want to deal with you, and he took on like very, guys with big personalities such as Randy Moss, Richard Seymour, and excuse me, and like James Harrison and these other like high ego guys, and he made it freaking work. Just like it just kind of just says all that needs to be said.
Yeah, he's done.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah. So and other NFL talk, if my computer will freaking stop here. So the playoff picture is coming together here, Matt. So as of this week, with a win, the Baltimore Ravens can clinch home field throughout the postseason, which I would assume that they are going to clinch this week. They clinched the AFC North last week, which wasn't a big surprise there, but like
logistics.
Yeah, I mean, like the more interesting thing to me is what's happening with the AFC East right now, because if the Buffalo Bills win, like that puts the Patriots in a very precarious situation, because that I think would belt them down to a 3 seed, if I am not mistaken, because then I believe that Kansas City would just need to win out, and they would have the 2 seed. So
wait, there's if somehow do you have the standings in front of you?
No, I'll bring them up.
Because who the Bills playing? New England?
Yep, New England this weekend.
That would tie them, right?
Yes, that would tie them.
If somehow
but
Bills win.
Yeah, but
the Bills win out, and somehow
I believe that with the Patriots that they would still need to lose in week 17 for them to not
win the division.
Yeah, but I could be wrong about that. But So right
There's still
now,
a possibility
yeah.
that somehow the Patriots.
Oh no. As of right now, no. If the Buffalo Bills win, they are actually would be in first place because they would have a better conference record
Yes.
at like 8-3, whereas the Patriots would then be 7-4. So the Buffalo Bills would then be in first place.
They control their destiny.
They control their own destiny.
So
So then that would belt the Patriots to a 5 seed, and that means they would be. Well, they would probably be facing the Houston Texans, and the Bills would be facing either like the Steelers or the Titans right now.
that would be interesting.
Would be very interesting.
Yeah. And then Pittsburgh pretty much on the safe side needs to win out. They face the Jets, which should be a win.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're going to face Baltimore.
Who,
and at that time, probably will rest their starters if they clinch the first seed next week. Which
I expect them to.
Which, and if then Pittsburgh beats them, that pretty much wraps it up, and they get the 6th seed, and then they face whoever you just said.
Right.
The third, they would face the 3rd seed.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's kind of interesting. Things can go up and down, but
and the thing that the Titans have going against them is like they are going to facing the Saints in like New Orleans, I'm pretty sure too, and they have to go all the way to Houston in week 17. So basically, the Steelers could possibly finish 8-8 and still back into the postseason. But I do expect that the Steelers are going to find a way to win against the Jets. Although like I'm losing more and more confidence with like Duck, especially like that last game was just like you kind of saw who he actually is. So it's unfortunate, but
people were shocked.
Yeah. That was that. That's the AFC. As far as the NFC goes, it's a little bit more unpredictable right now, just based off of the things that are happening with the 49ers and with the Seahawks. So the 49ers had a devastating loss against the Falcons on the last play, and now they are back into second place, and Seattle won against Carolina. So that division is going to come down
game of inches
into week 17. So essentially for San Francisco to get the division, they need to like win out. Probably same thing for Seattle, but I think regardless, one of those teams is either going to be getting home field, or they are going to be facing the Dallas Cowboys or the Philadelphia Eagles. So like it's just like it's just regardless, that's going to be a freaking massacre. I mean, I don't see how the Saints are going to get get a home field because I'm expecting both with Seattle and both with San Francisco to win for this week. And regardless of like who wins in week 17, they're pretty set at the 2 seed. The only difference would be if they were to possibly slip up one of the next 2 weeks. The Green Bay Packers face a very tough game against and some Minnesota, which that division is still up in the air too. With the Vikings, they are currently 10-4 now. The Packers are 11-3. So if the Vikings win, they would be in an outright tie with the Packers. I think that Green Bay would be slightly ahead on percentage points because they would be tied head to head, I believe. With as far as conference records is concerned, I'm not sure what the third tiebreaker is, but that should be interesting. And as far as the two wildcard teams, obviously the one team is coming out of the NFC West. As far as the second team, it's probably coming out of the NFC North, so either Minnesota or the Packers, and regardless, as far as in the NFC, like that is going to be a war for any team. Those are not easy games for either the Packers or for either the Packers or the obviously with the Dallas Cowboys or whoever. And I would imagine, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if obviously with either San Francisco or Seattle, they're going to be heavy favorites going into those games. So it's all going to be very interesting, and it's going to shape up to be a really interesting playoffs. And I could make the argument it's going to be one of the most compelling NFL postseasons in a very long time. You have a lot of fresh faces with San Francisco, Lamar Jackson coming into his own, Patrick Mahomes is coming into his own. So I'm really looking forward to this year. So moving on, and we're just going to give our brief thoughts on Spygate 2.0, Matt. It happened again. How does this happen again?
I don't know.
I
don't know.
You would think that this franchise would have learned their freaking lesson the last time when they had draft picks taken away. Fine, I believe that they were fined $500,000 or something on topic.
Change.
Yeah, but it's a culture of cheating. I don't care how many Super Bowls that this team has won. There's going to be a little bit of an asterisk behind those titles because this is now,
whether it's right or wrong,
it's now the third time now that the NFL has had to investigate this franchise for very shaky activity going, whether it was Spygate, the Deflategate, and now Spygate 2.0. It's bad when the Bengals catch you red-handed, and a guy who was working for what Kraft Productions or whatever.
They were filming stuff for Advanced Scout or whatever.
You knew he was scared when he said, "Oh, I can just delete this and
the guy's like, the damage is done.
It'll be gone." And he was like, "Dude, the damage is done." The NFL needs to come down hard. I don't care if it's something as simple as this. It's against the rules to be filming another sideline because with Belichick, he's just gaining information on teams.
You can sit and scout and write stuff down, but you can't film.
You cannot film. It's very black and white. There is no debate about this. Just hearing ex NFL players talking about that, and they all have said it is a competitive disadvantage. So like this, like they need to suspend Bill Belichick. They need to take away, whether it's a draft picks, fines, whatever. Something needs to happen because clearly that team in that franchise just has not gotten it that cheating is, like, it's not allowed. There's a reason for these rules, and consistently the Patriots find ways to toe that line or just flat out just freaking break them. Mm-hmm. So Matt, any more thoughts on that there?
I guess we'll see what comes of it. I don't know what will happen, but yeah, it's just it's I don't know. I'm not surprised anymore, but like it's like it was like blatantly obvious watching that film. But yeah, the Patriots
cheating.
The Pats are going to pat.
The Pats are going to pat. But just some big notable free agent signings. Matt Garrett Cole has joined the evil empire.
Yes,
he's a very rich man,
as we all predicted in the past, like always, because that seems like Pirates get somebody Yankees.
Yeah. Basically, the ownership with the Yankees told their executives, get that man a blank check and pretty much find a way to get him into New York. 9 years, $324 million with an opt-out clause after 5 years. I believe it was on average of $36 million.
I think it's 36. Mm-hmm. So a year. Now, we did some math at lunch today.
Oh boy.
How many times is about how many starts is a starting pitcher, you think? Like 30?
What
a starting pitcher, how many starts in a season, you think?
I'm going to say around 30, yeah.
Let's do 30, all right? So you do 36 million.
Yeah.
Divided by 30. Yeah. He's pretty much per start about just over $1 million per start.
Jesus.
And if you do just per day, per day for the whole year, even when he's not pitching, when he's sleeping, when he's sitting on the bench, divided by 365 days, $90,630 and change.
And I think I think I also read too that for every strikeout he's getting paid $1 million or something like that, or for every inning that he pitches he's getting $1 million for that. It was some crazy, stupid, insane stat like that.
But that's
Jesus.
Well, we're like. I know there's the debate whether athletes are getting paid way too much money, but in the context of what he did,
capitalism, deal with it.
Okay. But in the terms of what he did this past postseason, and just in his career, I think well deserved. Will that contract live up to the hype? We'll see.
I mean, it's hard to say. Like, for all we could know, he could be like a Verlander and pitch until he's 36, 37, which now he's only 28. So when that contract expires, well,
I think he's 38. Something.
Yeah,
like
and which I would fully expect he's going to be opting out regardless after 5 years. He's going to pull a Strasburg and just like get as much money as possible, which I mean, I would fully expect at age 33 he's still going to be a very dominant pitcher. So I have no reason to believe whatsoever that he won't be a dominant starter
right.
for the Yankees. other stuff. Anthony Rendon signed with the Angels. I believe he signed for the same amount as Steven Strasburg did. For the Nationals.
That helps the Angels out. That has another power bat to go alongside Mike Trout. Because that was almost like a one-man show over there.
Right. Also, Madison Bumgarner signed with the Arizona Diamondbacks. I believe he got $90 million, something around there.
I don't have it in front of me. But yeah.
He signed there. And there's still Dallas Keuchel and Ryu are still currently on the market now. So there's and I believe also that Josh Donaldson is still on the market. Supposedly the Washington Nationals are heavily interested in him. I'm trying to think of some other happenings in baseball, but I believe that essentially covers the most important,
like the big ones.
Yeah, the really big ones. So the good old hot stove in Major League Baseball. But next we're going to talk about some wrestling here, Matt.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go through this fairly quickly.
Yep.
Because we're gonna get bogged down. Because luckily we talk about NXT and AEW live streams before. Because good God, this would be probably over 2-hour podcast.
Yep.
So you had the live stream this past Wednesday, and the ratings have come in, and as expected, which I hope, NXT beat AEW in the ratings, and for the first time in the 18 to 49 demo.
It would have been a really big story if they didn't.
Right. So after last week, last week, we didn't cover this because of me being sick. There was a tie. They had the exact same viewership.
Right.
The demos were different, but the viewership, I thought that was hilarious, which seemed about right. So this week, NXT drew 795,000 viewers, and then Dynamite had 683,000. So NXT beat them by 16%, and this was AEW's second lowest viewership since obviously the show began.
Yeah.
Compared, that was the November 27th episode. There was the lowest at 663,000. Yeah. NXT had a solid show with it opened with Adam Cole versus Finn Balor and closed with Rhea Ripley defeating Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's Championship. In the demos, 18 to 49, NXT had a .27 compared to AEW's .25. So even though really close, they still beat them. Compared to last week, AEW had a .28, so a drop of .03, and NXT had a .24, which NXT went up by .03. AEW ranked number 30 in that demo, in the top 150 in cable, while NXT was ranked 27th. In overall viewership, AEW ranked number 43, and NXT was 37. So, yeah. Not surprising that NXT beat them by a little bit over 100,000 viewers. It's going to be... It was not interesting. More interesting for AEW for a whole with the overall viewership trends.
Yeah, they were pretty low because of the House outing Trump and everything. Like there was most of the Google trends and everything were
Right.
above that.
And they're gonna be, I believe, off or a rerun or something next week because it's Christmas.
I'm not even sure if they're showing anything next week.
Right.
I could be wrong, but I know with NXT they it's going to be a recap show, and I think they taped like 2 or 3 matches for next week. Yeah.
So I expect them to win.
Yeah. Honestly,
it's definitely going to be probably a lower viewership because obviously, but yeah, I mean, good for NXT. I mean, with that show, that loaded show, again, like we were saying it ad nauseum. It better have won. And AEW could have had a good show as well. But what we talked about, and John, you can correct me if I'm wrong, it wasn't one of the best episodes.
Honestly,
overall.
I think you can make the argument it was probably their worst show.
I think I think the episode when Bad Bath and Beyond, I mean the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny debuted, that episode, I think that was that was the worst. I think was that the 20. That was that the November 27th episode? No,
I believe so. Yep, it was their show before Thanksgiving. Yep.
Or after, before.
Before.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah,
it was late this year.
It's just but I tell you, people would just complain about things just to complain. Did you see the freaking backlash that they were giving AEW for showing a video of Tony Khan stunning Sean Spears online?
No, I didn't even see this.
Yeah,
where's I at?
Yeah, I'm like, guys, it didn't happen on TV. It happened after the show. Is this something that we are going to really complain about? It's literally the very last thing that this company, as far as issues are going, are it's way down there. It just feels with so many wrestling fans, I truly believe that the people who hate wrestling the most are definitely wrestling fans. It's proven every single week, and man, it really does get really annoying. But NXT beat AEW this week. They're going to be trading wins here. It's going to happen. You're targeting the same exact audience, and that audience is going to see which is a better show every single week. It's just that is what's going to happen until AEW eventually establish some stars or sign some other people that is going to ultimately shift that balance, which as of currently it's at a standstill right now.
Or it doesn't.
Exactly.
It goes the other way,
exactly.
Which we could sit here all day and be like, oh, AEW eventually do this or NXT. We don't know, but right. we can sit here and talk, but will AEW get? I don't know. That's a conversation for another day.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Last few things there. We had the latest WWE backstage ratings came out, and
I totally forgot about it this week.
Yeah, they weren't good. It was 95,000 viewers. I continue to ask this every single week. Why is CM Punk not a regular on this show every single week? Do these people not realize that a lot of the people who watch their show is because of this guy? Just make him a regular. I don't think it's asking too much. There's just a lot of people who don't find this show interesting without him on it. I
like the show overall. I like the show overall when I watch it, but is it being on at 11 o'clock?
Oh yeah, it's definitely
on a Tuesday.
It's way too late. But to with FS1 having because I believe they air Big East on basketball and stuff too. So like that might be in a way, but still, like if they want this show to be somewhat successful, it's got to be on like either like 8 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Eastern time.
I think 10 is the latest.
Yeah. Like I mean, it's very rough right now.
Or move it to a different day.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Just some minor thoughts, Matt. Did you catch any from like TLC?
I did watch TLC alongside. I think there was a Penguin game, so I did watch. Quick thoughts. I think the first two matches, which escaped me, were solid, very enjoyable. Then the show just coasted off the cliff.
Yeah, like just
because I was watching, it was just like,
yeah,
this is not going to be good.
Yeah, I was watching the Steeler game at the time, but
it was a Steeler game, not a Penguin game. Steeler game. I'm stupid.
Yeah, it's just from what I saw and some friends who I talked to, basically they said outside of Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy and the Revival versus
tag team match, yes,
versus New Day, everything else was complete and utter garbage. So like it just goes back, like they have like WWE needs to kill these freaking.
They closed. What did they close? With? They closed with
Charlotte.
Tag team
Charlotte
match.
And Becky versus.
And
Asuka.
then they had other people come out and finally cry. That. What?
Yeah, it's just like WWE needs to kill these freaking gimmick pay-per-views, man. Just like they serve no purpose. Like what was the point of this show? Like and that has been a consistent thing that you say about these pay-per-views. They serve no purpose. Like it's just like throwing people out there without any story going on. Like literally this week, like if someone asked you what happened on the show, I mean, you had some pretty good matches and all, but outside of that, like, you know, nothing felt that it was really progressed. And like I just like it was just a very negative review from everything that I gathered. And lastly, Matt, anything from Raw? I didn't watch that.
I was there a pig? I think no, I don't think I watched it.
Yep.
Oh no,
you were finally wising up there, my friend.
No, it wasn't because I wasn't home.
Okay.
I was in Pittsburgh. Okay. I wasn't home, and then I recorded it, but I didn't go back and watch it. Yeah, that wasn't out of spite. It was I just wasn't home.
It was out of spite for me.
It always is.
Mm-hmm. But now, Matt, it's time for everyone's favorite segment of the week.
I don't know about everybody's, but it is a segment.
Yeah.
The funny story of the week, and I found this right before we got on the air. Preparation is key. And I found this hilarious. If you're a fan of Marvel, you're going to enjoy this, like we are. Here's the title of the story. This is from Reuters, and linked below in the description. Wakanda free trade forever? Fictional nation removed from U.S. trade list. This is a real thing.
Oh yeah, I heard about this.
Oh, so I'm not gonna. The U.S. Department of Agriculture USDA, it removed the fictional country from the online list of nations that we have a free trade agreement with on Thursday.
Wakanda.
They want free trade.
Wakanda.
If you don't know what we're talking about, the fictional superhero Black Panther from Marvel, the Kingdom of Wakanda, that is his home country. It's an isolated African nation with the most powerful technology of the planet, ever, which Captain America's shield's made out of. And we have the quote here. It goes, "While we remove the Kingdom of Wakanda from our list of U.S. free trade partners, our relationship will always be strong. Hashtag Wakanda forever," USDA tweeted. Now, you're going to think to yourself, why is it there? Why was it on the list anyways? And there's pictures here. Probably I have it shown on the screen right now. It was a mistake from officials because it was part of a test that they used it.
Of course it was.
And they left it up. So apparently somebody on a software engineer was looking on data for U.S. agricultural tariffs, and he noticed that he says, I quote, "I was very confused at first, and I thought I misremembered the country from the movie and got it confused with something else." So there was I guess it was just a placement and it was just a test, but that was hilarious that they actually put Wakanda on the tariff tracker.
What? Oh god.
And there is a picture. You can, it says select FDA partner. Why is this not loading? Well, anyways, and then Wakanda is there. So that's hilarious. So that is the funny story of the week. Wakanda forever.
Yep, and that will bring us an end to this week's podcast. Matt, do you have anything to add before I send us home here?
I have spoken.
Okay. Matt has spoken. So guys, you know the old drill here.
Yes.
Make sure that you comment and subscribe, hit that bell, share this video, and get our subscriber count at. We are now at 9 subscribers.
Not 9 like the typo in the text message.
Yeah.
9.
Yeah. So
we're famous.
As
I walked down the street today and I had a crowd of people come up to me. The 9 people say, "We love you, Matt. I don't know where John is. He's not here, but we love him too." A crowd of people. I exaggerate for effect,
obviously, but as we say, these podcasts will drop every Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. And as I said at the start of the podcast, we will be doing weekly reaction videos for both AEW Dynamite and NXT. So all stay tuned for that, and we shall catch you guys next week. So until then, have a good night.